Special thanks to Donzie Marine, Steve Simon, Doug Valentine, and their entire crew. Also special thanks to Jim Caldwell. Coming up on Nick Carter Racing now. Nick Carter Racing, a 40-foot fountain. Mercury powered, two 800 horsepower Mercury imports. Steve Arpisa is the driver. Lee Murray, the throttleman. They're from Key West, Florida. Nick Carter Racing, that blue boat on the inside. By the way, on the outside there is Team Donzie. Apparently it's back in the race, picked up some speed. Having some power problems, but they're back in the race for the moment. Team Donzie on the outside. Now, Nick Carter Racing, I'd like to give a special thanks to Darrell, the crew chief, and also Hog's Breath Saloon in Key West. Of course, Hog's Breath is better than no breath at all. And we will be there in Key West later on for the World Championships in Key West later this year for the APBA. Number one, Nick Carter Racing, Super V. Other competitors in Super V, we got Phoenix Waste and Media Master. Nick Carter, though, number one right now in first place in Super V. Many, many spectators there in the background along the seashore here in Savannah. Let's go on board now, Nick Carter Racing. Steve Arpisa at the wheel, Lee Murray on throttle. Steve Arpisa doing a fine job. On board Nick Carter Racing, your leader in Super V. There's Media Master, 37-foot outer limits. Phoenix Waste right behind. Phoenix Waste, a 38-foot activator. On board Media Master, we've got Matt Beck, the driver. Greg Quirk is the throttle man, Mercury powered. Two 750 horse-powered Mercury inboards. Greg Quirk, the owner of Media Master. Currently in second place in the national point standings, Media Master. Other competition in Super V, Nick Carter Racing and Phoenix Waste. Mercury-powered Media Master, Greg Quirk, the owner. Around the turn, Matt Beck and Greg Quirk. All right, coming up, there is Phoenix Waste. Phoenix Waste is a 38-foot activator. Ryan Beckley, the driver. Mark Schnepp, the throttle man. Mark from New York, Ryan from Bradenton, Florida. All right, Phoenix Waste, 38-foot activator. Another activator, High Noon Racing. Currently in second place in Super V Light. Ryan Beckley, by the way, is the owner-operator of Kinetic Animation for all your vinyl needs. Ryan Beckley, the driver, on board Phoenix Waste. And of course, the other activator, High Energy, won yesterday in Factory 1. Nice throttling there by Mark Schnepp from Coram, New York. Media Master on the inside. Phoenix Waste on the outside. Battle here in Super V. An activator against an outer limits. Door-to-door racing here between Media Master and Phoenix Waste. All right, there's Sonic Racing, 36-foot Sonic. Dennis Hennessy, the driver and throttle man. Pat Kaz, the navigator. They're from New Jersey. Sonic Racing, F256. Sonic Racing and Factory 2. Other competitors in Factory 2 include Speedwear, Snap-on Dock and Tools, Total Marine Racing, RNS Offshore Racing. Factory 2 competitors. Also Harwich Concrete, Herbert Racing, and Team Danzig. Right now we're looking at Sonic Racing. Nice driving and throttling there by Dennis Hennessy. Around the turn, Sonic Racing. Nice jump. Dennis Hennessy. Pat Cass. It's Quality Foods Castaway. 38-foot fountain Mercury-powered Mitch Miller is the driver. Matt Rice, the throttle man. Took a fourth place in Daytona, currently in second place in the national point standings. By the way, It's Quality Foods set a kilo run record here in Savannah at 106.153 miles per hour. Main sponsor, It's Quality Foods. Nice throttling there by Matt Rice. He's from New Oxford, Pennsylvania. Mitch Miller, the driver, is from Cornelius, North Carolina. Special thanks to Benji Brooks, the crew chief of It's Quality Foods. Many spectators there along the shoreline. Just a perfect day here in Savannah, Georgia. Inaugural Savannah Offshore Grand Prix. Pre-race event. This is race number 2. There's Sonic Racing on the inside. Dennis Hennessy and Pat Cass. 36-foot Sonic. It's Quality Foods in second place in the national point standings in Super Big. There's Total Marine Racing. Total Marine Racing, a 38-foot formula. Jim Harvest, the driver. Tom Caruso, the throttle man. Around the turn, Herbert Racing. 32-foot Wellcraft Scarab. Keith Herbert is the driver. Joe Scrocky is the throttle man. Mercruiser powered, 2 500-horse-powered Mercruiser inboards. In first place in Factory 2, Herbert Racing. racing for a cure. And coming up there is Team Dunze. Doug Valentine and Mike Stancombe, driver and throttleman on board Dunze. Team Dunze making its way through the pack. Team Dunze had missed a turn earlier in the race, and they were last, but they are making their way through the pack. Team Dunze